Okay, so we'll call the regular meeting of the White Bear Lake Conservation District to order September 19th, 2017. We have a quorum. Before we get going, I'll just, in case everybody hasn't noticed, we have a new member attending tonight, and I'll try it. It's Jeff Rattay.
Very good.
Oh, that's good. And Jeff's a new Matamidi rep, one of them, and Mark's obviously the other. So welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jeff. Okay, so approval of agenda. We have the agenda in front of us. Do we need any changes?
Move that we approve it.
Second.
So a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes. Approval of the minutes from the August meeting. Mike?
One very small, probably inconsequential thing. It's on page 2, 8C, 8C1, water quality. It says that we're 2 1/4 lower than last month. Should be inches. Maybe we can just put inches on there and we don't have to print out another.
What page is that, Mike?
Page 2, 8C1.
HC1?
Yeah.
About halfway down.
Just make it in 2 1/4 inches,
Oh, okay.
and that's,
If it was 2 1/4 feet, we would have noticed.
Yeah.
yes,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. The correction is 2 and,
2 1/4 inches. It just
Oh,
says 2
inches.
1/4.
Yeah, just put,
Doesn't say inches.
okay,
But we don't need to redo it or anything.
I'll just correct it. Okay.
okay, any other? Okay,
Move that we approve the minutes.
second. Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes. Public comment time. So we reserve 15 minutes for people to talk about things that are not on the agenda, if anybody's interested. Okay. And we'll move on to new business. And I don't have any new business. Unfinished business, same. So we're to reports and action items. The executive committee met and this month. 2 things that I want to talk about. One is the administrative assistant position job announcement. That was in your packet. And what we're looking for is our questions and input on that. And we'd like to get approval to advertise this in the newspaper and wherever else we have to advertise it. The City of White Bear Lake, someone from the City of White Bear Lake has agreed to help us make sure we get it in all the right spots, and we do it according to Hoyle. So does anybody have any questions about the position description?
This has, list scale rates. It doesn't really list what, I guess, okay, for boards and committees, you got 5 things. I just want to make sure that helping with the website is reflected in here.
Yeah, I think
I
that,
know there is a,
and did you see that? I just read it, so,
I mean, there's like PC skills. Is like number 8, and I suppose it would be under that, but.
yeah, that's not what I was recalling.
But I would like to have, maybe it would be, let's see, there's major tasks and then skills. I want to make sure that we understand that website content.
Well, major task number 5 does say notification of board action to the public is required by action placing legal notifications in official newspapers and on the website.
Okay.
And under, and where were you just, yep, okay, and then under 5, under skills needed, experience using social media and website as business tools and community builders.
Okay, there's social media, okay, got it.
What do you think? Do you think that covers it well enough? Okay, anybody else have any question, comments on the job description? Okay, I'll make a motion to, that we accept this for publication, to advertise for the position.
I'll second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that passes.
How do we post it?
So we'll work with this person at the City of White Bear
Okay.
to get their guidance as to how we proceed now.
Yeah.
And the goal is to, as we talked about last time, to get this advertised, get, hopefully, people interested, review resumes, go through some interview process, and then hopefully, it's possible we could bring a candidate forward at the October meeting. I think that's unlikely, but hopefully at the November meeting, we could bring someone forward and try to get approval from the board, ask approval from the board to hire. That would be the goal.
Do you need a budget or anything?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. You know, I see advertising, and I don't know if how would we cover advertising? Mary, do
Would
you
we
know?
advertise what?
How, if we advertise, say, in the White Bear Press, how would we cover that expense?
Well, generally, I would think that after we talk with Sandy, who's the human resources person at the City of White Bear Lake, we'll have to consolidate it down into a size that is appropriate, and then we can use that, or even a smaller size, whatever, and then just according to the deadlines on this White Bear Lake paper and the surrounding areas, and the St. Paul paper and Minneapolis paper, we would put that same ad in all of them.
I mean, I suppose the HR person we're working with, we use their channels. In this day and age, very little is actually advertised for real jobs in the newspaper. A lot of it goes through Indeed.com, you know, there's a
Sure,
whole way of
sure.
doing this, and I assume that the HR person will guide us on that.
Right, right. So we'll rely on their guidance moving forward.
Do we need to vote any expenditure on this?
Alan?
Just as an FYI, you guys are members of the LMC, and they have a fairly extensive job postings page on their site that's well-trafficked, and it's a service to members. So I would encourage, obviously, your interim administrative assistant to post it there, because there is a lot of traffic that goes through there. And that's, like I said, a service, so you wouldn't need a budget for that. The HR person at White Bear should know about that resource, too.
Okay, well, can we authorize some money for, if we have to pay for advertisement?
Yeah, if you're going to do newsprint, it will cost.
And I wonder, do we want to do that? Do we want to just say, hey, we're just going to do this digitally, or anybody have any opinions on that?
I can't imagine going to the White Bear Press looking for a job, but that's just me.
Right? It's a good paper. It's a really good paper, though.
No, I love the paper, but I think that
Right.
people would use it for different things.
Yeah,
Alan?
I mean, there are job listings there, and probably should go there, I think, as a matter of course, but the primary channels for posting jobs are not the newspaper.
Well, so you don't get caught up in a delay if you do use any printed advertising, or if there's any cost on a website or any of that kind of stuff. I guess I'd make a motion that you're allowed up to $500. Does that sound reasonable?
Sure, I think that sounds more.
Make a motion up to $500 for posting of
That's
the
gonna be
administrative
somewhere
secretary job.
19, I think.
Second.
I seconded.
Oh, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That passes. Okay, thank you for that. And then the second item on the executive committee report is a meeting with Matamidi, as everybody knows. I suppose everybody knows, maybe you don't know, Jeff. The executive committee has been trying this year to meet with all the member communities and just get input, how do they think we're doing? What do they think we should be focusing on? This kind of thing. And so we met with Mayor of Matamidi at our executive committee meeting, and he liked that that Gene, in particular, Gene Allstat, was communicating so well with the city, letting them know what's going on, and Mark's going to try to pick that ball up and be the communicator there, or however you guys do it. And he was really supportive of the board, and said if there's ever anything that we need support on, that just let him know. So nothing real negative came out of that. Did I miss anything, Mark?
No.
Okay. So that's it. Any questions? Okay, and we'll move on to, the Lake Level Resolution Committee. And that committee is inactive at the moment because we don't have a chair or a second person for that committee. I sent an email to the members of that community, the committee from the community, just letting them know of that situation, and that we would be back in touch when we had some leadership for that committee. And then on to 8C, the Lake Quality Committee. Mike?
8C, water level. The water level today is 922.98. 922.98. It's a couple inches lower than last month, but it's 7¼ inches higher than last year at this same time. 8C2, the water temperature is 68 degrees, and it was exactly last year at this time 68 degrees. So you kind of watch, temperatures and that kind of stuff to make sure that everything falls into the same pattern, so there's not something goofy going on. 8C3, the treatment status. In October, Steve McComas is going to come here. Now, if you don't know who Steve McComas is, he can answer any question, I believe, about our lake that you could think of. And so, and he's very entertaining to listen to, but he's also very knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing. And he will give us our milfoil report on the treatment, also the inventory of weeds in the lake and water quality and everything else. But I really encourage you to think about questions that you're going to ask him, because he's good and he knows what he's talking about. And even, people from the public come in and ask him questions, not about docks, about the lake. Nothing political, about the lake. And
You underspent this year, Mike,
yeah,
in the milfoil. You didn't spend your budget.
yeah, I know it. Well, we're there. Okay, so anyhow, Steve McComas is coming. Okay, so I'm done with that part. We didn't spend all of our budget for weeds, and some of the problems were that we had little spots instead of big ones, and you try to treat those, and the treatment drifts a little bit away, and we didn't get good treatment on some of these little ones, and that happened all over the state, apparently, because the DNR now is looking at, if you have a little spot, you have to actually treat around it more. So if you have a ½ acre, they're going to make it an acre. If you have, 2 acres, they're going to make it 3 acres. Or maybe they'll have a minimum size. They're working on this right now, a minimum size. And they're also thinking about, because the types of treatments that they have now are very specific to Eurasian water milfoil, so they're doing a good job. They're not killing native plants, but they're reducing the milfoil, is that they're thinking about actually increasing the dosage. But that's political, that's, So none of this has happened yet. They're just talking about it. They're just brainstorming for next year. So none of it is official. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And we can ask Steve about that too, because he knows about it, because they actually deferred to him on some of these questions about areas and dosages and things like that, because that's what he does for a living, and he's good at it. Okay, that's it for that. 8C4, we need a couple of shallow water buoys. You've got a thing in front of you there from the buoy company, a bid on it, and we have $300 left in the budget for buoys, and this comes to $292. So I would like to make a motion that we purchase these 2 buoys, it includes freight, as soon as possible.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion?
Question, George?
Yep.
Is 2 gonna be enough? Because we're gonna have certain little surplus in our budget.
Well,
The milfoil stuff, now would be the time to,
I got a couple last year, I just kind of get a couple every year and freshen them up.
the answer is yes, they're gonna be enough.
You know, if we got them all new at once, then they'd all get bad at once. This way, they don't all turn bad at once.
Good plan.
So that's kind of what I've been doing for the last number of years.
Just ask.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So that passes. Anything else from Mike?
That's it. Any questions? I'm done.
Okay. So 8D, Lake Utilization Committee, Mark?
Only one thing, Luke Mashat and I have to put a thank you out for Luke because he is the former chair and has a lot of experience in this sort of thing. We went out to the Harrod House at 479 Lake Avenue, Birchwood, and we put a eyelet onto their deck and ran it all the way out to the end of their dock to denote the angle, and then we threw a pipe in to the ground, and we measured both. And so next year, there shouldn't be any issue with where the dock is or isn't angled. They just have to run the string out along that same line, and everything should be copacetic. So we'll see. But that's it for the Lake Utilization Committee.
One point, I think, in the bottom, make sure it's in our file for future reference, because we do have a turnover on people, so make sure this, Barry gets in the file.
Very good.
Any questions for Mark? Okay, thank you, Mark. 8E, Lake Education Committee, Scott?
Yeah, there's everything in your packet on the website traffic. It is doing still up from last year. We like to keep it going with new content, tying the social media. As soon as we get a new person on board and
Use George's mic, your mic is not
well,
working. Just use George's mic. Yours isn't working.
okay. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, when we get a new administrator on board, I would like to have, spend time with that person to keep improving the website, to keep the web traffic up. The only other item is on the email. I've been sending out emails. It looks like everybody is getting it, I think.
Yeah, I
Jeff,
got
did
it.
you get the last one I sent?
Right.
Okay. So I think I want to make sure it's reliable enough that we can use it as our main communication addresses. And with that feedback, I think, we can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Any comments? That's all I have.
Okay, so, Scott, I don't think we have to do this, but do we have to go in and check our emails if they're being forwarded to us?
They should forward to your regular address.
Sure.
So you shouldn't have to go in. A couple people, Mark, and then someone else also was saying they didn't want it forwarded.
Sure.
And now, like I have on my smartphone, I have it as a second account. So if you send it to me, I'll get it twice. But that's just fine. Then I can make sure it's working. But yeah, you can do it on your smartphone. And you can put any number of email accounts on your smartphone. I just want to make sure that, Susie was also saying that she wanted it to not replicate like that. I'll want to be in touch with her to make sure that she's got it so she can see the email without having to always check,
Right.
so.
Okay, well, thanks for taking care of that. Any other questions for Scott? Okay. Treasurer's report. So we have that in front of us. And Diane's not here, so I'll try to make a go of this. And I'll make a motion that we approve checks numbers 4433 through 4440.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So that passes. And does that take care of us for that, Mary?
Excuse me?
Does that take care of us for the treasurer's report?
Yes.
Okay. So we're on to board council report. Alan?
Madam Chair and Board, not much activity through the courts, so nothing really new to report on the council front. I would stand for questions.
I'm not gonna. Perfect.
There you
Okay.
go.
Thank you. Consent agenda. I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That passes. Announcements. Mary, we didn't have you down here for a report. Do you have anything to report for us?
No, I don't.
Okay. No announcements other than, again, Jeff's new, and so get to know him, and I think we're done.
I've got a question for you. I was just looking ahead. Now, this meeting happens this third Tuesday of every month, right?
That's right.
November, that's the third Tuesday, 2 days before Thanksgiving. I don't know if that's a problem for anybody else. I won't be here because of it. If we wanted to move that date, now might be a good time to think about it.
Okay, what does everybody else think about that? I'll be around.
You know, Tuesday before Wednesday, if anybody's traveling for Thanksgiving, they'll be gone that day.
I mean, we could poll everybody to
Yeah.
make sure. I'm not planning any travel.
Yeah, Mary, would you do that for us?
I'm sorry.
Will you ask the board members if they'll be available for that third Tuesday meeting in November? And if it doesn't look like we'll have enough, then let's talk about changing that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. So, did we adjourn? I can't even recall now.
Haven't adjourned yet.
Okay, so did somebody make a motion to
My
adjourn?
favorite thing to do. I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned. Thank you.